I need more haters. What the fuck is going on? You amazing motherfuckers. And we are in the China shop back again. You want to advertise for someone? www.advertise my shit. Bull-NA-ChinaShop.com. What the fuck is the wait? Stop taking fucking pictures of the pup. We're gonna be hosted by yours truly, High Lonely Time.
Yo, you beautiful motherfuckers. What is up? This is episode 44 of the Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast. The Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast is the first and the only podcast dedicated to the bull breeds and the American bully lifestyle. This week, I have joining me a friend of the podcast, a veteran in the game, somebody that actually was just awarded a pretty significant award this past weekend, and somebody that has been on the show. I think this is the third time that Len's been on the show. Welcome, Len Evans, a.k.a. Lycan King, a.k.a. Mr. Senate DJs, a.k.a. OG status. What's up, brother?
Yeah, what's good?
Honestly, just trying to put together the pieces from this trip I just took to Canada for the first ABKC show up in Canada. Trying to get my life back together. I swear to God, every time I go away for a weekend, it takes like 2 full days to get your life back together once you get back.
Yeah, it does. Definitely between the dogs, everything else. I mean, if people don't realize that, it definitely takes a while to get anything back to normal.
You had a crazy weekend too, at the VA show. What?
Yes.
Give me a little bit of a rundown of the weekend, because I'm seeing pictures of open houses. I'm seeing pictures of the show, stack offs. I'm seeing pictures of you in the ring again. The return of the fucking MC, the OG MC. I see pictures of awards. I see pictures of a party bus afterwards. I see all these pictures from Canada. I didn't get in on any of that stuff, even though I had a crazy nice weekend in Canada. The turnout for the first show up there was awesome and stuff. But just give me a rundown of the weekend, man. It looked like it was reminiscent of the old days.
Man, it definitely was. I mean, Dave and them guys really took it back. I mean, I didn't think that, the first back to the Bullies was insane because everybody was in there, and it was, the first event of the Epic Center. So to return back, myself, I'm thinking, like, how can this match up to my first match and what we put together the first time? But this time, I wasn't really too involved with it. I mean, the only thing we did was show up WDIA. We supported the event, promoted it, and showed up. But meanwhile, Dave and Sean and them put on a major amount of the show. Deanna, all them. I mean, this show was crazy, bro. I mean, it's the first show that I've been to, even including Nationals and all that stuff, that had this many OGs in one location. And we're talking like a broad spectrum of people. But, I mean, of course, you're not including Nationals or other places. I mean, Nationals, you always gonna get everybody. But just to be a regular show, outdoor show, this was the biggest show on the East Coast that I've seen in years. And then, two, it's been a long time to have that many people. I mean, you're talking about Al, the owner of Dro was there. You're talking about Randy, the producer of Dro, Rebo, and all them older dogs. You got Shenardo, you got Sean, you got Miguel was there. I mean, Miguel, he's been around from when Dave was just starting Razor's Edge. So you're talking about history from like the utmost force. Danny came through, me, Oscar was there. I mean, it can go on days and days on how many people were in that building that, that really set forth. I mean, all the crews came out deep. I mean, Kino and Black Label, them guys came out, did their things in the ring, had the dogs there all weekend. The Elite Edge, they came out. They were there. Sean and them had them prepped and had them up. They were doing good. I mean, of course, you know, WBA was there deep. We were there killing it. We did really good. And to have the international judges here, a lot of people were pleased to do that because the show ring was packed for both shows, you know?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, from pictures and videos and stuff, it looked like all the classes were pretty deep. It looked like there was quite a few dogs there. So, I mean, it looks just reminiscent of, shows that, but a lot of shows. Now, I mean, there's definitely some bigger shows and some good party weekends and some really good competition in the ring and stuff, but it's few and far between now. You know what I mean? It's definitely becoming something that it's hit or miss. A lot of these smaller shows just don't have that feel.
You only really have like the shows itself, unless us or people that go out to hang out. We have to get to these towns and orchestrate what we want to do. And when we go to these shows nowadays, most show hosts are worried about the shows, selling booth, the people who's coming, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's all they're worried about. They're not thinking about anything else. Where this past weekend, Dave and them had everything set up from open house at the ABKC office on Friday. Then
How
they had
was the
the
turnout
seminar
for
with
that?
the judges Friday night, educating, pushing their judges even more, and people that wanted to be judges. And then you go into the show Saturday. After Saturday, of course, we had the big after party at Margarita Grill. Was off the hook. Is always a good time. And then
margaritas
Sunday,
is crazy. Margaritas.
The grill's crazy. You know that. The drinks, the trash can, the margarita, the grill's crazy. And then
It's
to have
crazy,
that
man.
there. And of course, Friday night after the seminar, we went there too. But some of us went in town to Brock's and some of the other clubs because they had that hooked up. Everybody from VA was just transporting us all around. And then you got Sunday, they went up to Captain Billy's in Maryland to eat seafood on the water. And with a party bus. You didn't even have to drive. Dave picked you all up at the hotel. Dave, Sean, and Deanna and I picked you up at the hotel, took you up there. You had a great time, drank, and then came back. So meanwhile, you're talking dogs in the truck the whole time. You're getting to, mingle with everybody. And then you get there, you're eating. So there's no show that had, in a long time, that had all 3 days packed with entertainment. Like, you get what I'm saying?
That's like, we need to have a note-taking session. We need to have people sit down and pay attention to what the fuck you're saying right now, because nobody's doing that. No one is setting up the pre or the post. They're setting up the shows. A lot of times it's mediocre, average type of show setup in the first place. Nothing spectacular, nothing really drawing people in. And they're definitely not doing a pre or a post, a Friday night or a Sunday. You know what I mean? So, kudos to fucking Dave. Like, that's crazy. I mean, that's really nice. Super nice. And not to get off topic, but the show host that I was with in Canada this weekend had a big dinner set up after the show and stuff. Like, this, for being their first show, they're pretty on point with took care of us, took me as a judge, took care of the rep. Where we stayed was on point. The dinner afterwards was on point. Lunch Sunday even. Like, that's how it's supposed to be.
Well, even yourself, and we know, like, when you go international, most of these international shows, they take care of you like that old school way. You know what I'm saying?
For
like,
sure.
they have you do like all that stuff. They have you plan either they're sightseeing with you, dinners or foods. They do that because we're coming in from out of town. But in town, these people have nothing to do. These people, a lot of times in the country, are not. They're so worried about how many shows they can fit in one day, and that's another thing that brings it back to it. Back to the Bullies, all these people showed up, and there was only 2 shows all day.
Right.
2 quality, good shows where everybody was done and out of there by 6:30, where it was none of that, like, be done 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Because when you're done that late at night, what is there for you to do? You probably find a place to eat or anything. You got to take the dogs home, you're tired. So, like, when you're back to everybody having fun, getting there on time, starting the show, and then having two full big packed shows. I'd rather see two competition driven shows instead of seeing 3 or 4 shows where you get to the end and the shows is like 2 or 3 people in the ring. Like, to me, that's not even worth the dog winning right there. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't.
It's definitely shouldn't. Well, it does carry the same weight how the system's set up now, but it should not carry the same weight as a dog competing in a show with deep classes and high level competition for sure.
Exactly.
But,
And it's sad to say, and even the shows, I mean, they're doing it for a money point of value. They're not really caring about the weekend, because that even shows more, because you want people out of there so they can do dinner together. Like, them big dinners and packing it in, it was insane. I mean, Friday night we were just in the grill just to have dinner and eat after the seminar. You look around, the whole place was filled. It was almost like we were there partying, because everybody was there mingling in one location just to have dinner, eat up. People coming to town, we're talking. That's the way the shows used to be. You know, the hotels were all packed out, where there was only so many hotels and everybody was packed in hotels. Because name the last time you've seen people post a show and what hotels. Like, people don't even post that no more. You gotta know stuff to do, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, even bowling on Friday night for a meet and greet, or, you know, even we used to just have fucking parties in the hotel parking lots for meet and greets. We used to just have random, spontaneous meet and greets.
Yeah, because everybody will be booked in one hotel, where now people have to go online and Google their own hotels. People are so spread out. They used to call the hotels, set it up, have them say, listen, call in and say the show, and you get this rate. And it'd be 2 or 3 hotels, you know, or 1 or 2, and hear them pack up, then they add another. But meanwhile, you had everybody there collectively at the hotels, where you start drinking, chilling, talking, you know, you're sitting by the pool, you're sitting outside, you're sitting at the rooms, whatever it may be. But that's how people get educated. That's how somebody new coming into the world, they're coming to the show for the first time. Now they're able to talk to all of us. They're able to meet with all of us. We're like, nah, come on, we're going to go over here. Now they're like, shit, they're seeing it from the right end. And now this person might get educated in the right direction. Because misdirection is the biggest thing in this game right now. You have that guy who'll show up to another hotel where there's no OGs or nobody even know what the hell they're talking about dog-wise. But just because they got a kennel shirt on, they got a couple dogs, that new guy's going to listen to him. Now here he's getting stuck on bad information, and then he goes online, makes a post, people bash him. Where here none of us was there to even try to give him a hand.
Yeah, that's a super good point. That's a super good point, because you see a lot of times when somebody, even when they just ask a question, they just get their face ripped off. You know? And it's funny to me, because, you know, a lot of that stuff is common sense and you should know it. But at the same time, it's got to be frustrating. It's got to be, you know, disheartening for new people that are coming in trying to get good advice from people that actually know shit. Because a lot of times the people that are offering up the fucking advice don't really know shit. They read some shit in a book and they had 2 fucking litters, and now they know shit. Now they're giving advice out.
Yep.
But
and that's how you get misdirection, like tomorrow. That's how you get people leading the bad dog's health. The dog's looking like shit. The dog's doing this or that. Like, the cross breedings, the mixed breedings. You know, you're giving false intentions all the way across. Like, you can't blame that person. You can't get mad at him now. You have to educate these people beforehand. Whether some stuff is common sense, yeah, I agree, and then some stuff you got to see these people who don't know. You got to think, most of us and anybody who's older had pit bulls before. So we had dogs their whole life. Some of these people now getting into dogs never had a dog growing up. Right. So to them, this bully is the first 4-legged friend they own, and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, this is their first experience with any dog breed. And now you're
coming into an experience where you're coming into dogs being in the ring, competing, and all this stuff. So, like, that's a lot somebody needs to be educated on fast, because they bought that dog to get in that ring. Because that's the image we sold them. That's
fucking true. That's spot on. I have nothing else to even say. I don't even know what to add to that. I mean, you're saying stuff that I say all the time. You know what I mean? And it's good for the people listening to this shit to hear it from people other than just me.
Yeah.
Okay, when you guys, what time did the show start
ways,
Saturday down there?
Same thing with the shows. The show hosts, you guys are all making money. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't be throwing repeated shows. So at that point, if you're telling people you're doing it for the breed, do it for the breed. Make sure the show is done at a decent time. Make sure the people have something to do the night after the show.
Right. What time did the show start down there? What time did the show start?
It started early. It started on time because I got DJ there, Soho, because he DJ from Senate DJ's my partner. We got him there by like 9 o'clock. They were already registering people. I mean, like I said, the whole thing was a class act all the way across because they had people ready at the registration booth. When I got there at 9 o'clock, pulled in, the ring was already set up and all the trophies were there. So it wasn't like they were setting up still. You know what I mean? Like, so like it was on point and like the show rolled in right away. But the show was packed and still a big show because there was only 2 shows. Everybody stayed. The show was done by 7. We were packed up and out of there by 7 o'clock.
That's great. That's awesome. That's perfect.
That's awesome. That's what I'm saying.
Perfect.
You had 2 great shows. You seen the competition that was in them shows, and each class was full. Like you're not getting a point to the second, the third, or fourth show where it's barely people in there.
Right.
These people nowadays, when you guys show number 3 or 4, there is nobody left. Like I don't care what anybody is saying.
Barren wasteland.
I've sat around. You are at 50% or under than what your first 2 shows were as far as dogs in the ring.
A lot of times, you definitely are. Around half or lower.
Lower.
So I also seen, I mean, not other than the show getting out early. I didn't even realize you guys got out that early. But I also seen the whole day, in between dogs being in the ring and classes going on, there's stack offs going on outside the ring the whole time, and I don't really want to pat myself on the back, but I'm going to. Last year, listen to what I'm saying. Last year, how many stack offs, how many like 20 dog stack offs did we see last year, a year ago this time, or 18 months ago? Not a lot. Not a lot. But in December, November, December, January, February, all we did here at Bull-NA-ChinaShop was push stack offs and celebrity dogs and must see DOGs and people putting the time in and bringing the dogs out and traveling and putting the miles in to get them next to each other, because that's the kind of shit that we all loved when we started. That's the kind of shit that attracted most of us to the fucking show in the first place.
Yeah.
So now, almost every show you see these 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 dog deep stack offs, videos, pictures. I'm not talking about the ones on the table, sitting on the turf on the table. We see those too, but I'm talking about, show dogs that also are able to stack against any dog at the show, doing stack off pictures outside the ring and taking pictures with people that are fans of the dogs, or people taking pictures with dogs that they think are worthy of stacking next to some of these dogs that are hyped up, or even the ones that are really high, really accomplished. That's like what this whole fucking thing started on, was like, this is the best I've produced this year. This is the best you've produced this year. Let's stack them next to each other and see where we're at.
100%. I mean, as we have always talked over the years, I mean, we're brothers. You know how we do. We always have the most conversations of anything. All of us getting into me, you, Timbo, all of us in our times. We always share, rolling around, all that crazy shit. We always talk about the past. We talk about the present. We talk about what was there and what was missed. And it was a lot of what before was there was the stack offs, was bringing out the top producers, was bringing out the top dogs, was bringing out the top everything. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was the top notch of what these people want to see. You want to see that dog that was getting the biggest hits and likes online. You want to see him in person. So that's why you were mainly doing that. Like, most of the shows originally was people's choices. The show ring, what we originally started with was people's choices. It was classes, biggest head. It wasn't like stacking. It wasn't all this what we have nowadays, which is better because I like to see the professional side of it is good, but to have that complete balance where you want general public to come back in, the general public don't want to come to just see dogs in the ring. And we already did that, and you see how it's whacking out.
Well,
Now you bring back the stack calls, you're going to get the other big names there, because when you get them people, most of them are selling dogs to the public. When they're advertising they're coming to the show, then them people come out to see their newest hitter or what they're hiding or what they're bringing. Now,
right, I agree with half of that. I think that we can't say that none of the general public will come to see the dogs in the show ring, but that's a small percentage or a smaller, it's the minority for sure, because once we create these celebrities, you see it just like with reality TV. Once we create these celebrity dogs, people are going to show up.
I'm not saying, let me retract it. Let me not say
but,
I'm not saying that they won't come for the show ring, but I'm just saying having a show based only, most of the people that are showing dogs in the ring you got to remember, most of them are handlers now, most of them are everybody else. Them people are they're advertising to get, to get people dogs to handle for. Am I not right or wrong?
No, 100%. 100%.
They're not pushing to the general public and then the other 100%. People, because most of these people, they're not selling dogs. We sell the dogs, the breeders and everybody else. But a lot of the show dogs and having people just do the show side, you're only getting the regular boost. You need to get some of them people, the big kennels and the big crews back out there where they're doing the big displays, they're doing the big boosts, they're doing all that, because when the public's walking around, they want to see that. If you just walk around and you see a bunch of generic little boosts with a little code and a banner, you're going to just be like, okay, you'll do 2-3 laps and you'll be out of there. Where if you're going, you're seeing these big displays, you're seeing stack calls over there, you're seeing people stacking in front of their booths. Because remember, before, your booth was basically a stack off. It was your own crew stacking your dogs, right? Your booth on a stage or something else, where now people don't even bring that out. We were the only people that had a stage there this weekend.
And when you say we, you mean the WDIA?
WDIA.
So, I bet that, if I had to guess, I bet that stage was busy all fucking day.
Yeah, all day. That's what I'm saying. We got the stage, and that's what I mean. But there's other big crews out there. They were still stacking. Everybody was bringing their dogs out, and that's the whole point. Because when everybody who was going to be there, people bought their hitters out there. Some of them dogs were stacking, wasn't even going in the ring. So you got to have the both catches balance of both to get a packed show. To really get it crazy and get to grow big again, where you're getting 2,000-3,000 people out to these places, you got to have both. Because you got to bring the kennel, you got to bring the big people back out, because elsewise they just go nowhere. You got other places that are making homes for these people, giving them the stack offs, giving them their, the tension there, and not putting all the tension in the ring. And so what people need to do is pull the perfect balance. With you bringing the stack offs and everybody talking about it, the stack off thing is great, because like you said, there's still people in the ring, and then there's still stuff over there that's giving people double to look at. But meanwhile, when you look at the pictures, you're getting all kinds of stuff. You're getting the comparison where you're seeing the dogs next to the other dogs, and people wanting to line their dogs up next to it and get that whole competition edge thing there. Yeah, my dog was stacked next to this dog. You want that? There was no shit talking afterwards. Nobody was mad about it. It's all general fun. But to have that, and then in the ring, you also had great competition. Mufasa won the first show. That dog Bear won the second show. So there was high dogs all the way across, all the way in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's from what I've seen. The dogs that are winning in the ring, and the dogs that were mostly the dogs that were talked about outside the ring.
Yeah.
Were fucking really nice dogs.
Real nice dogs. That's what I'm saying. It was real nice dogs. We got to get back to that whole class. Because some people have badass dogs. The show ring's not for everything now. The show ring's professional. People need to get that in their head. So it's to the point right now that there needs to be something else for these bullies to do besides that. They're not going to weight pull, because not everybody does weight pulling everywhere. So that would take years to get that started, to get it trended. So at that point, you need to have a stack off and in the stage. Everybody's selling stands, everybody's making these dogs stack from the beginning. Usually training these dogs purposely from the beginning to be show dogs, but some will become too freaky or too not, where if you're going to do that, you're going to be changing the standard every year to keep up with all the different types of dogs, where instead you can keep the standard one way, say, listen, show dogs are show dogs. Freaks are out here. Not saying freaks, but, There's shit that's just hitters. You can leave them out here, and that's where you do your stack off. But if you make a home for both people are happy. Most people just want that. Before you used to get a bunch of people gathering, everybody taking pictures or making noise. People in the ring used to get mad about it, and then they feel like it took their attention away. But right now, it looked like that ring always had people around it because they were doing stack offs next to it, and you had the show. So it's like you had the perfect attention there. You know what I'm saying? The general public didn't have to leave.
Yeah, and it's important to hold them all day. I mean, it's one thing to get them in the building, and it's a lot of times just to get them in the building is enough to get them hooked. But it's important to keep them all day and let them see that best in show, that best in breed lineup, and that best in show winner.
Yeah, definitely. You want to see all that. You want to get at everything. You want to see them go in the ring, bring them out stack, or even when you get done. Most of these people now, I don't care what it is. I've been dealing with dogs for a long time. I showed under every registry there is known to man. Every which different type of class, dog, any which way. These bullies are not taking that crazy hard where people are talking about when they're in the ring, oh no, I bring my dog back, I got to sit him up. He has to rest for a couple. What the fuck? What is he resting for? What did he really do? He was not extreme. They're not doing laps in there. They're doing 1 lap runs. They're not doing 2 laps maybe. They're acting like they're doing like 4 or 5 laps like in some of these other registries where they got him running until he can make his choice pick. They do 1 or 2 follow rounds, stop him, and that's all they do. The dog is not that tired. You're losing out from that general public person. Come back, put the ribbons on, put the trophy in front of him, stack him right up in the front. You know what I mean? Like, shit, here's a picture of me rubbing ice on Mufasa after he came out of the ring just to cool him down because we didn't want to put him up just to stack him 4 pictures. And we're talking about a dog that's like the top dog or like some people. We're extremely pushing it to that level. You know what I mean? Like, and it was hot out at that point of the day. So that's the only reason why we did. Like, and that dog was in there working in the Grand Champ class, and then won the whole show right after. So you know that repeat. You know how it is, Ty. You've been in the ring many years. You know how it is. Once that dog hits that class, wins, he's tired. But instead of putting him up where nobody was seeing him, we kept him out. We put the trophies there. I'm rubbing ice on his ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. But we do these things. And that's what we do, but we still need to put a show on for the public, We're here to please these people. These people travel, they spend money. Some of these people travel and don't even have dogs just to come to that show. That's a big step,
That's huge. That's huge. And do you think, I don't know how I want to word this. Do you think it's going to, we're being a little too soft with the dogs if we have to cool them down in between these shows? You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
that's not their job. They're not a working breed. It's a companion breed. But you should be able to take a fucking companion out in, fairly warm weather and walk the motherfucker around, even if you're gating him around the ring 2-3 times. And I see it. No, I'm not just saying about Mufasa. We see it with a lot of dogs. A lot of dogs got to be put up and they got a fan on them, and we're all guilty of it. I've had a fan on dogs at shows before too myself. So
yeah. I mean, we all have. I mean, everybody does different things, but to me, I worked with every different type of bully to see it, and I see these dogs in the ring. I know what a working dog is. I know the limits to push a dog. These people don't push their dogs at no limit. They barely want to train their dogs because you can tell the way these dogs are looking conditioned. These dogs are just eating well. These people are doing trained diets. They're not physically working these dogs. Like, these people say, I'm working a dog. They got a dog jumping or swinging from like a rope in midair. Well, one thing the dog's swinging midair is the dog's not fucking doing anything. He's just swinging around and he's holding his jaw tight. Like, he's not physically working his body back. Like, if you're doing a spring pull in there, his back legs at most need to be on the ground so he can reflex and body flex and pull, These people are just they have no clue how to work a dog, so they're assuming that the dog's worked up. No, the dog is just out of shape. Take the dog. If you took the dog 1 week and if I took half of these dogs home and I just walked these dogs, just walked them every night, this dog will come in the next day at that show ring the next week and be perfectly fine all day in like 80, 90 degree weather because the dog has wind. These people don't do that, and you can see it in their dogs,
Right, yeah, just walking fucking 30 minutes, 45 minutes every fucking day, you're going to increase the ability to breathe and the ability to take oxygen into the blood for sure.
Exactly. And that's what we tell these people, like, stop just worrying about how I feed these people. Put so much time. People are, tell you the truth, I laugh at what some of these people feed these dogs. It's funny. Like, it's funny. I had Chucky out there, the old school Lolo's son, because I wanted to bring something old school out there. So I had Chucky out there, and people were like, what are you feeding him? What are you feeding him? Oh, what are you doing this? I was like, man, he gets Diamond, all natural, high performance, and Abney. That's it, point blank, bam. No wet, no meat, no nothing, no dine, none of this crazy stuff y'all doing. 2 things, that's all I do, and that's it.
Right.
But meanwhile, the dogs are working each day. When I drop that bowl, my dog also eats right there. Every dog in the yard, when I put them bowls down, gets quiet. They're all eating right there. I can literally go back 10 minutes later and pick up all the bowls. Where these people got dogs sitting around all day playing with food, they don't even have no clue what they're doing. I also do the thing we both do, and a lot of people don't do that, but we don't feed our dogs once a week. Take them out, let them rest, water them, do the whole 9, but they don't eat. They don't get a meal one day a week just to rest their stomach.
Yeah, especially with the heavier dogs, I use it to help control the weight, and especially with the heavier dogs, I use it to help keep the appetite fired up, because a lot of these bulkier built dogs, once you get them to a certain weight, they understand, their body naturally understands that they're carrying a little too much mass, so sometimes it's hard to get their appetite to stay where you want it to stay. So I mean, I use that technique too, just to help control the weight and control the appetite.
Exactly, because you're clearing it out. They're not having that fat, low stomach. You're also having them where they have that intake. Because if you start training the tricks where you pick which day is different than the other, he never knows what day that day of not eating is coming. So he's eating nonstop,
Yeah.
So, and then you get like other people are just too soft with their dogs, where they're just really. This whole chicken thing kills me. You get what I'm saying? Like, people feeding their dogs chicken right now is the most funniest thing. And then they get to the shows like, oh, I don't know, my dog looks skinny. Well, bro, you're feeding him like a bodybuilder. What do you want him to do? Like, chicken is lean meat. Like, dog's not going to bulk up on it. Like, I don't care how much you feed. I don't care if you give him the whole thing,
Yeah, you're going to have to feed that dog 4 chickens a day.
Yeah, I don't even care. You just better off just say, I don't like to spend money, so I feed my dog chicken. Okay, I agree with you there. You get what I'm saying? Like, now I'd be like, all right, now it makes sense. I understand why you feed chicken.
I hate money. I love spending money on dog food.
That's the worst thing. You see people throwing halves and holes and look, my dog eating raw. It's me. What? I'm like, dude, no wonder your dog looks like shit. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, put some steak in there. Put some, like, fish in there. Like, any of that would be better than that damn chicken, but then that costs money. Like, it costs money.
But
These
at the
people
same
don't worry
time,
about that. They're worrying about the cost, and then they get to the shows. The worst thing you need to do is you need to overbulk this dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that Chucky is going to not eat the first day you get done. When you travel, you know your dog's going to die back. So I fat him up fatter than what I needed him to look like this whole week going in, because I knew it's going to come this weekend where he's not going to eat, and then going there, I'm not going to force feed my dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave him there. I know he's going to drop on Friday, come in Saturday morning. He's going to look good. Boom, boom, bam. These people don't do that shit. You know what I mean? I also came home drunk Friday night from the club, and I'm out walking this nigga an hour in the middle of the night, 3:30 in the morning, also to get him to shit, move, and drink. Like, people don't do that either. So it's like, what do you want your dog, what do you want as your presence of your dog out there if you're not doing the prep or the time going into it?
See, it's important shit. Super important shit. It's like, like you're saying, to get your dog to take a shit and get something to drink and move around so he's not stiff the next day. You know what I mean? Like, that's something you have to do. I mean, whether it's 10 p.m. the night before, a lot of people aren't getting drunk till 4 a.m. and walking their dog.
Nah, I know
it's
that.
10 p.m. the night before.
But no matter what time it is, even if you came in and while everybody's still just coming in, you did it when you got there.
Right.
Any of it. Your dog was traveling, crated up, or floating on the airport somewhere or another, he was cranked up.
Right.
Stretch him out, let him run. Don't just put him in the hotel, leave him stretched up, and then all day in the show, he's all in there. Because a lot of times people leave him up thinking that's what they got to do for the dog. They got to be like, oh, let's leave him up. I don't want him to tire out so he's in the ring fine and fresh. What? That's why you get so many dogs shitting in the ring nowadays and going to the bathroom, because you're not walking your dog before it goes to the ring.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the reasons you see dogs that are stiff when they move and you're not loosened up, and you can tell they're not moving the way that they could move or would probably normally move, just because they've been in a fucking crate for 2 days. They were in a crate the whole time driving, which they should be. Which they should be when you're driving. You should have your motherfucking dogs in a crate. And they're in a crate the whole night, the night before in the hotel. They're in a crate the whole day at the show. So that hour, 45 minutes, a couple of times once you get there to wherever the show's at, before the show, like, that's super important shit. That's super important shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, they got to learn that. But once again, it goes back to that original point. The new guy getting into it, if he doesn't talk to somebody who's educated, but nowadays, lucky you're putting on the shows these people can listen and get educated with. But unfortunately, they still get wrong information if they talk to the other idiot from the other side,
Well, and I'm not saying all the information that we put out is like gospel. What I'm saying, we're just putting out information that we use and we know works for us. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm not saying this is gospel. This is how it is. This is what it is. This is how it needs to be. It's just this is the shit that's worked for us for years. For years.
Yeah, everything's
you know what I mean?
a template. It's up to your choosing on how you adjust it from there. You can take it and move different things. You got everything that goes in factor. You got elevation, climate, weather, timing. All that stuff matters into the dog, or how you get to eat, where you're located, what you have, yard-wise, space-wise. Of course, everything goes into that, whether you're showing or whatever you're doing. But any information is better than no information.
Well, any information from a good source.
Yeah, a good source. Yeah, I mean, I was talking for me or you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yeah.
How did it feel to be back in the ring, MCing?
Well, I didn't MC all day. I didn't even MC at all, really, to tell you the truth. I was sitting there running around, just chilling and relaxing, and then Dave came up and was like, "Yo, I need you by the ring real fast." I was like, "Wow." It was like, so I didn't think nothing of it, because they were doing all kinds of things all day. They did the when we first got there, that was one of the coolest things. In the beginning of the show, Dave and Steelberg called all the crews together, like Sean, Dave. They wanted to get everyone to cruise in there, so he called in Elite Edge, us, and Black Label. All of us went in there, shook each other's hands, all that, and did the lineup of the photo that everybody sees posted, where it had all the crews side by side, all as one, representing together. That's when we first did that. So that was the first part of the day, and then they kicked off the junior handlers and everything else. And then Dave came up to me, he was like, "Yeah, I need you by the ring." I was like, "Wow." I was like, "All right, let me go over and get the crew." He's like, so I called all the crew. We went over there. We're standing there waiting, and I'm, me, bullshitting, jabbing my jaws, and Steelberg was on there doing his announcements and talking. I started hearing some things. I'm like, "Hold up, what?" I was like, and then it was close to the end, and then we started talking about MCing and all this other stuff, and then it was like, "Oh, I got this award from one of them." Was calling me in the ring, and I was just like, man, to me, it was. I usually always give out the awards, so getting an award, it was cool, because usually I'm always just behind the scenes, moving, floating, and the last couple of years since we started WBA, I just been chilling. Like, I haven't MC. I really just been worrying about the family, WBA, doing the dogs again, just purely that only, not worrying about anything else involved with the magazine, operations. There's none of that there no more. So to me, I just chill. So when I got the call to come in there, it was cool. I read it. I told everybody thanks. Of course, I had to do a couple of my signature yell outs and get some people going. And then from there, I just rolled out and left the ring with the award. But it was definitely cool. A lot of people that pay respect. Steelberg pay respect. Bully the Kid pay respect on there. It's cool that them guys appreciate like what we started and what I started. So it was just, to me, I come from the club industry, so you always want people to hype up. And when in the beginning, we're doing these shows, everything, like I said, was a beginning, like basically like a people's choice hype in an event. You got to hype the people up, bringing them there. Like, hey, get this person, that person, blah, 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 blah. And then everything was good to go. So it's like, it goes all the ways, but it was good. I would never MC again, but it felt good, you know what I mean?
What did the award itself say? What was the award for?
The award was for being the original MC. It was given by the ABKC, and just really achieving what I really started and what I did in the beginning of it. I can read it. Let me see if I got it right here.
It's kind of like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, it's like an achievement award, and it just really was like, I guess, but they wanted to recognize me as the original Bully MC, which I don't claim it. I don't care. It don't matter to me. You know what I mean? To me, it's just all about the breed and the dogs. But they wanted to do it, so I guess they did. I mean, it is the truth. It is, it is what it is. So I thank them for it. It's cool, but
all right.
It is
So
what
now,
it is. You know what I mean?
now that we're on the topic of MC, I got a couple of questions for you for myself because I'm actually going to be flying to Australia in September, I think, to MC the show down there and do like a meet and greet seminar with Bull-NA-ChinaShop and maybe do a live, not maybe a live, but a podcast at the meet and greet for the people who can't be there. You know what I mean? So, like, as the MC of the show, like, what is your main focus? Like, what is the main thing that you're thinking about and focusing on the whole day? Like, is it trying to keep the people involved? Is it trying to make sure that the dogs are getting in the ring? Like, what are you thinking about while you're in there?
It's the balance of both. I mean, a lot of times when I was emceeing, they still had like another person with a mic that was just calling the numbers in, and you help with the classes and the numbers. But the main thing is being an MC that the most important is you got to read the crowd, and you got to also make sure the dogs are in there. Because if there's no dogs in the ring, that's a dead time, and the crowd gets bored and they want to walk away. So at that point, you got to either make some jokes, you got to get their attention, maybe ask some questions, or do the giveaways, like throw some T-shirts out, like always have them sitting by the side of the ring. So that's always like the best thing. But you want to control both avenues, keeping the dogs flowing in there, or even keeping in there. Like sometimes, if it was a badass dog that won the class, and I knew the next class wasn't fully ready, I would have them hold out and do pictures in the ring in the middle, because that would have the crowd's going to take pictures. You get whoever's always a photographer right there. He's going to take pictures. That also is a hold up to get them to get the class together to bring it in. You know?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm super excited about doing it because I mean you and I have talked about it before. It's always something I thought about jumping into anyway. And with the show, with the podcast, the first first podcast as far as like the bull breeds and the American bully lifestyle and stuff like that. And I actually, again, not to pat myself on the back, but I have a lot of knowledge about how the show ring works and the breeds that'll be in there and what the ring etiquette and stuff like that and the protocol for how the ring operates, how the show ring operates. I'll be able to hand out some good information in between classes, and I'm looking forward to that too, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. But I think I'm gonna have fun with it, man. Like the more I think about it, I'm super comfortable talking to people. I'm super comfortable. Really, crowds don't really bother me. I don't mind being the person talking in the crowd, so that doesn't bother me. But I just like as far as tips and tricks or little things that you've picked up over the years, like what like give me like a couple of suggestions as far as like to help keep things running smooth or something maybe I should do preparation wise, something I should do beforehand, before the show or anything.
You always try to look around, see what dogs are coming in the ring, to see what known dogs are going to be what classes, what's the big hitters, what's when you really need to make the marks, and when you're focused, you see that dog walk in the ring, you can really be like, okay, this dog is top dog, or this dog is the head producer, or this dog is known, or stains color, or something, whatever it may be. You talk with the one dog like that, and then the next thing you do, you can also always do is always be looking to see what classes come up, but then you're in the ring. So at that point, all these people up against the ring, you can always walk around with the mic to anybody standing there and ask them, hey, what's your favorite dog? Or what kennel are you from? Or what's your dog? Or what did you like so far about the show? Or anything like that, because that gets conversation.
Right.
Move on to the next person. And you're also, at that point, you're getting the crowd involved. They're liking it. They like to speak up. You know, you never know. There might be that kennel that just started out, and this guy is doing some good stuff, but here nobody talks to him. Here you talk to him, give him the spotlight. He's loving it, and then everybody sees it and they're staying around. So it also gives time in between the classes and the shows. And then same thing with jokes. You gotta have fun with it. I always have fun with it. These people take it too serious. You're gonna look too serious in the ring. You need to almost look like you're making jokes, you're laughing. You know, hey, look at this dog in the ring. Come on, man, clean ups or stuff like that, whatever it may be. Anything to get these crowd to laugh, look, motion, and they usually stay there, and that's the whole point. And keeping the show moving smoothly, whether it has the classes coming in and out, like, hey, it's a big class, hold them up, like, hey, hold on, cut it in half, or you know how that works. So that's the main thing with being judging in your background. You know how to flow people in and out the ring, so that's always a plus, you know? So it's really just having fun, paying attention, and constantly ask people all kinds of stuff. Now, if you're out of country, of course, always education thing will be great for them. Definitely like, hey, look, the French Bulldog was made this year, whatever it may be, or the English Bulldog should look like this, like giving them informational and tips, and that'll help all the way across with them liking it and everything else.
Well, I think maybe at first I'm going to focus on you just the ins and outs of how the ABKC runs, and you know the history behind the ABKC, and it is going to be an ABKC event, so you know I'm going to focus on stuff like that. Maybe try to help people understand. Maybe not what a judge is going to be looking for, because I know the judge is going to hear what I'm saying also. But maybe after a dog wins, the names and stuff like you're saying, the names, the kennel that produced it and stuff like that, for sure. I definitely want to try to get some of that information beforehand. And it's going to be a long fucking trip down there to Australia. I'm super excited about it. Super blessed to have the opportunity. But
that's a down under right there. But with the technology and everything you have, and you having the show here, you're already used to being on the mic and speaking with people. It's going to be a plus because you also want to information people about the Bull-NA-ChinaShop, because this is a great informational tool that you got going on here. And with the technology, people can just tune in with their phone and, you know, waiting for anything. You could be waiting for your laundry or anywhere in your house, let alone your computer or whatever else you're doing. So that's a great thing to have. So you also want to push that there at the shows too, along with the education of the ABKC.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna do it like a Friday night. I think I'm going to do a meet and greet with a Q&A. Which would be the first ever Bull-NA-ChinaShop meet and greet, first ever Bull-NA-ChinaShop Q&A. And also, I think I might do a handling demonstration or seminar 10-15 minutes before the show, before it starts also, because I used to handle a little bit, used to have a couple of dogs, used to handle a little bit. So I might be able to help them, with handling any kind of questions that they have beforehand, and hopefully educate a little bit while I'm in the ring.
That's a great thing, because
stuff.
we used to do that a lot in the shows, and people stopped doing that. And that, I think, needs to come back too. Like, people do it on Facebook, but you need to do it in person. Like, show them a couple, give them a demonstration. Show a dog gating in the ring. Show them the right way to stack them, move them, or anything else. Like, they need to do both ends of that to really make it go. Like, and that's what they got to do. Like, people, they don't do that. Show hosts don't do that no more. They don't have somebody come out there and do it. You got enough handlers and people there, you can make that happen.
Yeah, I think
with their kids being there now. Now that you have kids going there, and kids are junior handlers now, and these kids are excited for that. Have demonstrations so they can really see it, Make that a part of it. Make the one, it should be, you need to educate these people. We got to get back to that educating and showing them, because it's going to get way more out of hand. Because I see a lot of dogs in the ring that should not be in the ring.
Well, not only that, but leashes that are show leads that are put on the wrong way.
The wrong
People
way.
bringing collars in the ring. People standing over the top of their dogs when they're stacking them up. People having the dogs on the wrong side. I mean, the handling seminar 15 minutes before the show prevent a lot of that shit and make the whole day run smoother. Also make the handlers themselves and the dogs look better.
How many times do you see somebody come up, the dog is stacked perfect, the judge looks it over, dog holding tight, go out there, the dog's gaiting great, walking great and great. All of a sudden it comes back to getting back in line. Here they either pick the dog up off the ground or jump, like you said, straddle the dog to get the dog set right. And it's like, come on, man, the dog came back in perfect. You should just be moving him around to get him to stand like that. Like when you go that first, and as soon as you do, you're quick to get back in line, and you jump over the dog or pick him up. Like I seen people picking these dogs up off the ground, all four off the ground, like to restack a dog after you got done running it. Like you don't do that. Like I don't know what your day is. It's not like you're putting it on the table. Like what are you doing? Like, but they need to be educated because these people don't know that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go down there. I'm excited for the challenge of it. It's the first time I've been in the ring.
You better bring me back like a kangaroo or something.
I'm not sure if a full size kangaroo is gonna fit in my carry on, but a wallaby. Wallabies are a little smaller. I might or a koala or a
That's
koala.
strange.
But koalas have chlamydia, so I'm not sure if you want a koala or not.
Oh no, I'm okay on that. I did not know that.
Yeah. You look that shit up. Look that shit up. A certain percentage of all koalas have chlamydia. It doesn't bother them, but it's not good for you. That's bad for you.
Nah, shoot that thing, chop it up or something. But, I mean, Canada, that was a good move for Canada to do that show up there because it'd be a good smooth. They can get that going big. It's big. I mean, I used to go to a lot of events up in Canada before, like non-dog related. And Canada's a dope city, man. I mean, dope country, city, all of it. I mean, it's a dope place.
Yeah, we're Montreal where we're at. We're actually in Grenville, in Quebec. But Montreal where we were at, it's beautiful up there. Like the scenery's like green as fuck. Well, it was summertime, springtime, so obviously it was green as fuck and everything was fresh. But I think the market up there is gonna fucking explode because the first show that I just came back from, the first ever show up there was the grounds were packed with people. It was not as many dogs as we're used to in the ring down here, but that's gonna come. That's gonna with more promotion and with people seeing how successful the first show weekend was up there. That shit's gonna grow so fast. And they're already talking about the host that I just judged for. They're already talking about throwing more events and trying to have me help promote the event and spread the word and get it out there and try to get more people actually there, more of the general public from Canada in the building. So it's going to jump off up there. I think it's going to boom. I think that the bubble's just going to do nothing but grow up there. So I'm excited, man.
Out of country right now, they're feeding for it, all these places, and they're doing great jobs, and it's really booming. The U.S. got to step it up. I mean, we're supposed to be the Mecca here, and we got to really step it up. I mean, because there's too many shows that are happening now that's going to be slow or whack. There shouldn't be that. As big as the breed is growing worldwide, we should never have slow shows, but people got to also remember they got to throw good shows. Like, if you're spending money to go to a show, you want it to be a great show. Like, you don't want it to just be mediocre. You're spending money to travel. You got time to go there. You got the places. You got the hotels. You got the food, the dogs. Everything you're doing costs so much. You don't want to get in town and you're just sitting there having nothing to do. Like, it's not intriguing. And definitely when the shows are so close and they're throwing shows back to back to back to back to back, like, you're draining your area. Like, talk to people. Everybody talk to each other. Look to see there's another show. Instead of looking at it as competition against the show, Because really, it's going to hurt two shows. It's not going to hurt one show or the other. It could have two great shows. Instead, you'll have one show is going to be good and one show is going to get hurt. Like it always happens. Or both shows will get hurt. So
yeah, both shows get hurt.
Yeah, you got to be better with it. And then you got to
There's
have
just
a
too
full
many
weekend.
shows.
That's why I think most of the people flock to town. More people came to town to the Virginia, and it was being a two-show weekend, and they weren't concerned about getting anything else. And more people showed up to that because the weekend was packed than most of these other shows where there's like 3 shows or 4 shows or 2-day shows, we had 5 shows or 6 shows or, you know what I mean, whatever it may be, or the crazy numbers. Like, they got to cut that. Like, you know, it should be only 2 shows a day, period. 2 shows. I don't care who it is, how big you do it. It should be 2 shows a day. Everybody should be limited to it. And it'd be more, both shows would be better. The competition would be better. The champs would be more worthier because you're starting to get champs now that shouldn't even be champs at all. At all, bro. You know this.
Yeah.
It's getting to that point where almost champs and grand champs get so it's almost like it's pointless to have one now. Not saying pointless, but it's going to get to that point because you're going to look at the classes look like trash, like, and then people get mad because that dog made it to champ standard, but here he's mad because he never wins or anything else. So now he looks like he's just like getting no love. Where people don't realize like once your dog made it to its peak, take him out. Pull him and just retire him. Let him just go to the stack-offs. Let him just go to the show and be seen in the booth for when he was winning. Like, you should want to leave your dog on top, not losing at the bottom, because that's going to hurt his career afterwards for studying and anything else. Like, that's the main point of putting your dogs in the ring is to create his value up in any which way, whether it's by pups or by his productions. Like, so people don't worry about that no more. People worry about this dog's be loose. These dogs came out on hype. You have dogs that have champed out within this first year, and now the dog's 3 years old and hasn't won for 2 years now. So that dog's irrelevant.
Yeah, it does not take long for a dog to become obsolete if you don't do shit the right way.
Yup. Rob Lee put that up perfect the other day. That post that he put up. Like, you worry about your dog and your dog's worth, but you don't invest in, you don't advertise, you don't do, the traveling, the training. Half of these dogs are champs, never even left their state. How the hell are you a champ and you never left your state? You never even went to another show in another state, any other competition? How can you walk around proud that you have a champ and say that proudly, knowing that the dog won against nothing?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. It really doesn't. Yeah, I can understand why it's frustrating for people when they, when they're especially people that are making the sacrifices that you have to make a run for a top dog. You're like, what does it really, what does it really mean if there's 300 champions? Well, from what I've seen this year, I've seen a lot of nice dogs and I've seen a lot of nice champions. But I agree 100%. There's a lot of dogs, a lot of mediocre dogs in the ring that are being given titles simply because they stayed in their state. They bounced around to 5 shows. They showed under inexperienced judges, in my opinion, and they earned basically a champion title, what I would call a paper title, a paper champion, where you didn't really beat any exceptional dogs. You really have not, because you can a major is not hard to get. You can get 3 major and then dink and dunk and get 10 points here, 20 points there, 10 points here, 20 points there. At little shows with no competition, under people who really don't have a great eye, and then have the same title.
End of the day, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, and he's judging his show still. Like,
well,
what would you do? Like,
the same title.
No other dogs to pick in the ring but that dog.
Right, and you get the same title as someone who goes to 300 dog shows and shows or travels coast to coast in the country and competes against the best competition they can find, you get the same fucking title that dog does. And that's got to be frustrating. The point system has to be, they have to look into revamping it. They have to look into restructuring it to where the number of dogs.
Make it more majors. That's the bottom line. It shouldn't matter about the points. It should matter the majors. It should be the majors, the best in shows. It should be the majors, because at that point you got to win up against another dog that's competition. Like you said, getting 3 little majors, you can skip scamp that here and there, and then next thing you know, you just ride it out. These dogs will go and get a major here at a show at the end of the day, another one here and there with an unexperienced judge or something, then one they just caught as a flock, and then next thing you know, they ride out another year or two and just getting first places of points to become a champ. Like, how is that somebody to just coming out and being a knockout? Like, if you were a boxer and every fight you ever did went to decision and you never knocked nobody out ever, how would you be put up there against somebody who's like Mike Tyson, knocking your head off and knocking people out all the time? Like, how is that? But both of you guys are WNBA heavyweight champions, so you're both equal? Nah, man. It don't flow like that.
It's definitely something that needs to be looked into. I mean, I don't know about the boxing comparison. That I feel like you're going off the rails on me a little bit with the boxing comparison, but it's just something.
Comparison is just basically to the point of knockouts and decisions.
Well,
These guys that do somebody
agree.
who ends a fight fast and knocks out, that means he's trained in competition compared to somebody who always goes the distance. Going the distance, like getting your 3 wins, and now it takes you 2-3 years going nonstop, getting just minimum first places only, and that's how you got your title.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely something that needs to be looked into and restructured. The number of dogs at an event needs to be taken into consideration when we're talking about best of breed wins also. Because right now, top 10 is just the number of best in breeds that you've won.
Exactly.
So, if you travel to 16 shows that don't have any more than 40, 50, 60 dogs in the ring, and you win 15 of those shows, is that the same as someone traveling to 10 shows that have 200 plus dogs? Or 8 shows that have 200, 300 plus dogs? That's the same value on that best of breed win?
Yeah, no, it isn't.
It's crazy to me. It's something that needs to be looked into.
And that's why you see them people getting mad. Like you said, them people, after they become a champ, they lose so much, they're out of the ring now. That's why you see them falling off, and you're only seeing the better dogs in there, because people are not putting their dogs back in the ring when they can't win. They're just like, oh, I'm tired of this. Oh, everything's professional, or they're changing the look. No, your dog should have never just been a champion. That's all it is. And now it's even more. Before, everybody gave the excuses because all the champion classes were mixed into one. Now they're mixed down by category. You get what I'm saying? How can you bitch? You're up against the same people that was in your classes, except for you just are finally meeting real dogs now. You know, real competition.
Right. That's why the grand champion title still holds some fucking weight. You know what I mean? It definitely still holds some weight. But I agree. I agree. A lot of the champions. At some point here and there, you know. Yeah. Yeah, because
you know you're gonna get your 1 or 2 grand champs that snuck by because they went to low competition events, but still, he still went against a champ dog. You get what I'm saying? It's still there. It still holds a higher weight right now.
In order for a champ win to count, there has to be 3 dogs in the ring, not just one other dog. There has to be 3 dogs total in the ring. So if you won grand champion, you have went against at least 2 other grand champions in every class that you competed in, and you won 5 of them. So it still holds some weight, for sure. But I agree, there's a lot of champions that definitely shouldn't be getting the praise and accolades and fucking titles that they're getting. Mediocrity is taking over, man. Mediocrity is taking over. And there's only a certain number of people that are taking it to the next level and really keeping those exceptional examples of the breeds coming out year after year after year.
Yeah.
What was Who was the most impressive dog to you at the VA show?
In the ring or out of the ring? I mean,
Give me in the ring first, and then out of the ring after.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know how it goes. I mean, beyond Mufasa, because obviously I'm gonna claim him out. The dog's bad. You get what I'm saying? And Julie was showing him this weekend, so she had him running like she had him working phenomenally great. You know what I mean? Like the dog looked great. He was working great. He was good. What's that guy? What's his name's Frenchie? He looked real good to me too. That tan Frenchie. What's Timbo's? Joe's Frenchie.
Joe's Frenchie.
Yeah, that little Frenchie. That dog was pretty nice too. I forgot the guy's name. It's that fawn Frenchie that always wins. He looked real good in there. Keno's English looked good. The English that Keno was showing looked good too. There was a lot of good show dogs in there. I'm telling you, the regular competition between all the breeds looked really good to me. You know.
Yeah.
And then outside the ring, I mean, it was good to see Demon Boy there. He was there in person.
Yeah, from the videos I've seen him in person 3 times, and like spread over about 18 months. So I kind of watched him mature.
Yeah.
The videos and the pictures that I've seen of that dog at the show are not the same dog that I seen at any of the 3 times that I seen him in person. Like he looked like he was stressed out from the trip. Definitely dehydrated from the trip. Definitely wasn't eating on the road. He just looked super light, and people were still impressed with him. You know, people that were asking me, I told them you should see him when he's at 100%. You know, people were seeing him at 75% and still impressed with him. And I'm like, you should see him when he's 100%. It's something to see. It's a nice dog.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people were happy to see that he's a small dog. A lot of people thought he was a big dog. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So now people finally seeing his size and see that he's a smaller dog, like a pocket area or something small like that. Like, people were impressed with that. But, you know, any long trip's always going to stress a dog hard like that. So that's a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, he only flew
like
halfway around the fucking
I had
world.
Chucky out there. It's rare to see a Lolo son because there's not too many left true direct Lolo sons out there. So I had him at the show. So that was good to have him out there. But, I mean, the caliber of dogs all the way across, I mean, in and out of the ring was top notch. I mean, it was a good event, bro. It was really a good event to see people out there like that because you had kennels out there that don't show dogs, and them dudes were out there, like, showing dogs again. I mean, you know, stacking dogs, doing stuff like that. Like, that type of era where you had them people coming out knowing that it was cool because some people got so to tear when the crossover changed from it being the unprofessional sport of in the ring to it being professional as it is now. You know, we lost people when it crossed over like that. Some people thought it got too UKC or AKC, right. And other people thought it became biased against, you know, big, heavy-hitting dogs. It just didn't because we couldn't just have dogs in the ring with big collars and you stacking them there, standing over top, because that's the only way the dog will stand winning when it's not a confirmation show. It's a true confirmation show now. So to see that you got people grasping both sides of it, understanding that, hey, I can have a dog in the ring, but I can also bring this heavy backyard hitter out that is just out here outside the yard. Because we know most of the baddest dogs getting produced now are being produced by dogs that are not being shown in the ring.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to figure out why there's not more events like this, dude. Why is it one time every 2 years we have an event like this where it pulls people back? You know, like you said, a lot of people think that it's leaning towards the AKC or leaning toward the UKC type of atmosphere. And that's not necessarily the case. I understand that people are upset with it taking a more professional turn. But we want this fucking breed and registry to slide into the mainstream at some point. And in order to do that, we have to present ourselves as professionals. I mean, there's the bottom line. There's no fucking argument with that. We have to leave the street mentality behind to a certain extent and step into the professional mentality. We just have to do it as a community.
Even this past weekend, being it was hosted by the ABKC. This is the registry these people are hosting shows for, and even still, and this is a major thing with all these shows, you hear no music no more. All weekend, this weekend, David wanted to bestow that back, that it's okay to have music, but you just got to have it done by a professional. And that's why we brought DJ Soho out there from the Senate DJs. And, you know, Dave hit me up, and I said, yo, Soho's the one to do it. He was there for the 20th anniversary. He was there for a lot of the other original shows. He was even there spinning at some of the Bully Paloozas. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he was all over, and this guy was there for that long. So he spun like how you should. In the morning when everybody's unloading, spinning hard, music loud, having everybody walking in feeling good. And as soon as the shows start, drop the music down to instrumentals or, you know, low tones, but still hear the music. We're still walking around in booths or areas, and you heard the music, and the show was still going on. It wasn't interfering with the dogs.
Right.
It wasn't none of that other stuff. Like, before, people used to put the speakers in the ring on the floor. That sound messed up the dogs. If you elevate them up high,
just screaming into the fucking ring.
What happened?
I'm saying the speakers just screaming into the ring.
Yeah, screaming in the ring. Like, you gotta have somebody who knows what they're doing to set the sound up
Set the sound
it's just
up.
like you set a concert up. You can't just go into a concert hall and just throw speakers anywhere and think it's gonna sound good. It don't work like that.
It does
You gotta do it the right way, and it felt good. It still felt everybody was chilling. The music was vibing. No classes were missed because you were able to hear the announcements. And then meanwhile, the show was still going on, so it just had that whole But like you said, people should listen from this. People should take this experience from that and
Take
start
some
basing
fucking
all their
notes,
shows on it.
man.
They should be like, this is how we got to host a show.
Right.
And I hope that's the example of what they set by doing it. But it's hard to see because everybody's chasing money when they throw these shows.
And people don't understand, if you want to make money, you have to fucking spend money. All right?
Yeah.
You have to do the things that are necessary to bring people in and make people feel like they want to come back every single time you throw a show. So maybe you don't make a whole bunch of money the first time, but then by the fifth show, you've got a huge following of people that you know are going to show up to your events because they show up every time because you make it worth their travel money, their travel time, their hassle, their headache. You make it worth all that every time you throw an event. So you know those people are going to come back.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. Like, a lot of times people look at after parties or pre-party. If they can't make money off it, they're like, why am I doing it? You're doing it to entertain us. We're coming to your town, do it. Like, we spent thousands of dollars, I'm sure, this weekend at Margarita Grill. They didn't make no money off of that, ABKC, Sean, or anybody. It was just set up for us to go and have a good time. And that's the same for anywhere else. It should be the same. People should think all the same way. They should be like, no, I'm going to just have it packed. Like, just you book the hotels, you make no money off the hotels. But then again, that's why people stop calling and hooking up the hotels. So, like, why am I calling doing that? It's a headache for me, and I don't make no money from it. You're doing it so you put all of us in one location so it's easier for everybody to do things.
Yeah, and it's also one less thing that the people coming into town have to worry about. It's one having to find a fucking hotel that's close to the venue that allows pets. It sometimes is a pain in the ass. So if you're already taking care of that, if you can set that up as a host, it's just one less thing for people to fucking worry about. Finding a good restaurant to eat at, finding a bowling alley to have a little fun the night before, finding a place to hang out after the show, finding a place for everybody to have breakfast or lunch or whatever Sunday before everybody takes off. Like, that's important shit if you want people to loyally come back to your events every single time.
Yeah. And that's what they got to understand. Because you want people to come back. That's a lot. We don't know this area. Even though we can Google it, we don't know what that looks like. You go to one or two places, you're getting pissed where you know the ends. Like, they should say, hey, you guys want to go, there's a good pool place here. There's a good place to go bowling here. You know, list this out. Like, when we go into the show, it should be listed. Just like you go to any other shows, it has the amenities of what's around there. Like, hey, there's this place to eat. There's this place that's cool. I set up 2 different after parties, whether you want to go bowling or you want to go to a nightclub or however, you know, you should have these things set up so people can just say, hey, I'm part of Back to the Bullies, or I'm part of Atlanta's greatest event, or Texas Hold Down, whatever you want to call it. You just be able to represent it, and then you get in. Now you got options, and then if you're all staying at the same hotels, you say, hey, which one you're going to? Hey, you're going, okay, 20 people are going to this place. Let's at least follow them. Or 20 people are not going to that place, or whatever it may be. And it makes, if you have, it makes it look like the package is bigger. When you're going into a show and you're looking into a show, people put this flyer out there. The flyer is filled with all this information of just stuff that close your eyes and, you know, almost put a little, like, smoking clouds up, because it really doesn't have no info about hotel written on there. It don't. If you go in there right now and you look up 20 different show flyers that are coming up, you see no hotel info on there, no info about the after party, nothing to do, none of that stuff. It just talks about booth money, entry fees, how many shows there are going to be, and where it's located.
Yeah, if you're lucky where it's located. I've seen some flyers that didn't even have a fucking address on them.
Yeah, it just said the name of the place it was held in. Like, what? I got to Google that? Like, you're really getting that lazy to the point now, or you're really just putting that much smoke and mirrors up on the flyer to make like it seem like all this is going on when it's really nothing going on.
Yeah, if it's at a fucking expo center, don't just put the name of the expo center. Put the fucking address on there so I don't have to Google the expo center and get the address online. And then that's just another step. Like, all these things are just extra fucking work for the people that are coming to your event. No, you're probably not going to make any money by typing the address on there, but you think that that's common fucking sense. Put the address on the flyer.
But instead they're selling sponsorships, getting sponsor names on there. Like, they're maxing so much money all the way across that they have no clue. It's just crazy when they do that. Like, why are you putting sponsor names on there? That makes no sense. Like, get the right information you need to be on there. Use the sponsors on the front or wherever you got to, and be done with it. Like, these guys don't do it that route. They really are just taking advantage of every situation all the way across. Yeah. So it's just like, you got to do a little bit more to get people to come out. Like, if I'm putting money out there, I want all, you know, you're looking to make, I want the best turnout. If I'm doing a show, I want my shit to be back. So to me, it's like, boom, like, advertise, get the people being there, push it, do the whole nine, get other people talking about it. Like, there used to be the tactics to use. Like, now people are just like, nah, people show up. If not, I'm hosting 4 or 5 shows all day or 6 shows. I get enough entry fees in there. It just, even like the flyers, before they used to have what time the show start and what time the show ends. Now you'll just see what time the doors open. Because they only want to put an end time because they hold the first show to wait to see how many people will enter or not enter. That meanwhile, that messes, it's like a domino effect. That messes all the shows up. And that's why you're there 10, 11, 12 o'clock. You got like some of these shows being record late. Like, you know, you're into the next day going that late. You should have been already in bed. Like, you know, they usually went to the after party, been home and in bed. You're just getting done the show.
Yeah, it's definitely something that has to change. The point system needs to be looked at and needs to fucking change. The level that we hold show hosts to and the accountability that we hold show hosts to has to fucking change. The meet and greets the night before, that needs to, I mean, we need to bring that shit back. The three shows maximum. I mean, you say 2. I say you could still be out of there by 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock the latest if you have 3 shows. So 3 shows maximum 3 fucking shows. But then you need to start your event on time. If you got a 10 o'clock start time, it has to start at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it has to. It has to. And the reason why people come in late now, because they know it don't. You're sitting around for 2-3 hours waiting before they start the show. Nobody wants to do that. So get back to, like, it's prompt. Like, Herb and them a long time ago was on that. Like, yo, The show's starting whether you're there or not. We're not taking no more entries after 10 o'clock. You'll miss out on the first show.
Right.
People need to get back to that, but people don't want to do that because they're mad. But also, if they did that, it would force somebody to stay to that third show because he's really only entering the second and third because he missed the first show. So he's going to stay. Like whether it's somebody who enters all three. So you got to pay the balance between all of them. But see, everybody's so skimmy and on tighten it because they're not sure who's going to show up.
And then they ask all these questions. They, all the time I see, what can we do to get the attendance back up? Listen to episode 44 of the Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast, motherfucker. That's what you can do. What do you got? What do you got going on coming up? What do you got going down happening? Whether it's dogs or whatever. I just seen you had a new litter.
Yeah, I got the dogs is crazy right now. Coming from me, the stuff I'm doing, the producing, the on the next level is just. I've been, it's been hard when what I used to do as far as helping this breed with the Atomic Dog of ABKC. The other groups and all that stuff I was tied into, it was so hard, and I let my yard take the brunt of that, not breeding as much as I should have, where once we started the WBA, all I've been doing is breeding. So the outcome of shit I got right now and the production level of the dogs coming out there, I mean, this shit can be mind-blowing. I mean, mind-blowing when people see it. They're going to be like, holy shit.
That's good. I mean,
and as far as the WBA,
what's that?
We're growing like crazy. We just instantly got 2 new members in South America. So now we're down in the South America region, deep down there with a total of 3 members. And then, of course, all the other continents. So we're blowing up. It's not like we really are pushing to make the group bigger, but so many people want to just come along and join the family. So we let that happen. And we just did a video at the last Virginia show where we talked about the breeding of Mufasa, Oscar, and Val on there. And then this year, we're hosting the ABKC Mexican National in Mexico City in December. And then next year, we're doing the Cancun WBA show March 4th, spring break weekend. So we hope we get the podcast out there for Cancun spring break ABKC show. Or the Mexico Nationals, both of them.
Last time I went to Mexico, I almost died. I had a dick put on my shoulder in a city bus. I had a dick and a set of balls put on my shoulder in a city bus. That's how packed on tight we were on this city bus, and I almost fucking died from the heat. So getting me to Mexico is gonna take a little bit of a special event. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why you go in March when it's just starting to get warm, and then you'll be good to go. It's going to be crazy, so you ain't going to want to miss that one. Mexico City National is going to be crazy because last year it was big. And
it was in Mexicali last year, right? The Mexico Nationals was in Mexicali last year, I think, and then
it was in Mexicali.
So Mexico City, I mean, that's a huge gym.
I remember Aldo, which is also an ABKC judge. We're hosting it there, and Mexico City is a dope city, and we're expecting at least 3,000 plus there.
That's going to be a huge show. The Mexico City show that I did wasn't anything special or nationals, and it was 2,000 people there. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean. I have no doubt there'll be 3,000 people in the building for that one.
People hear them numbers and they don't realize out of country these people are doing that. Mexico, even Cancun, 2,000, 2,500. Like them, they're out of countries. There's a ton of numbers.
Right.
It's still there. It's just here. We just, we get the blunt of it. I mean, this weekend was packed. I wonder what Dave and them posted as far as numbers. But this weekend, it was the first show I've seen that many people. As far as the East Coast show, it's the most packed that I've seen in years.
There was people there from West Coast, the South, from Canada. I mean, there was people. Well, maybe not too many people from Canada since we had the first ABKC show up there. But
you had people
from Mexico, people from South America, people from UK, people from Italy, people from all over the fucking world. I see were at that show. So I mean, that's if you want to know what you can do to step your game up, just listen to what we've been talking about, because these are things that people that throw these kind of events, these are the little things that they do, So that the Cancun event, that's going to be in March. Listen, I was trying to get involved with the Cancun event last March, but we had like a scheduling conflict or something, I think. So I'm down. You just let me know what I can do to get involved, and I'm down. But I don't want to be downtown Cancun because that place is like, it's like I almost didn't make it out of there last time, bro. It was hot. I almost went down. There was no air moving down there.
It's all good. It's a little different shape than other areas, but now we're going to stay on the beach side. Most of us stay right there at the resorts. We're going to kick it up at the resort side, so you can come over that side. Because of course, one of the WBA DJs is DJ Star, who is a DJ of Coco Bongo. So that's the biggest nightclub down there. So that's always the hookup, and that's where we plan to always be at.
Right. Well, I'm ready, bro. You just gotta let me know. Let these people know where they can find you. Let these people know where they can see what you got going on.
They're gonna have to wait and see. They're gonna have to come to local shows. They can always find me at the WBA booth. I'm going to finally get the Lycan website up and running again. It's been a while. We just been putting in so much work and time on the WBA website that we'll be launching probably by the end of the summer because we're doing so much more video with it now. With us doing video interviews with our own people, talking at shows and stuff like that. Because we always do other people's stuff, but never nothing just for WBA. So we're doing that now with, talking, winning, and the stuff we have going on. And, basically like what members is what and letting them see because we got so many different members putting their face on there. So we're doing all that. Of course, we got the link up with Bullypedia now because Bullypedia, everybody knows Lou and Rand's always been family, but Lou is an official member now. So, of course, now as you can see, most of the WBA shirt says powered by Bullypedia. So we're doing that with the whole link up, and we're always here for the podcast, whatever you need. We always got you on that level too. And it's going to be an interesting ride this year. We're going to see how far Mufasa can take all these best in show wins this year, see how that year goes for him. And we got a lot of dogs coming up, a lot of hitters, a lot of new stuff we're going to be doing. It's going to be crazy. Like I said, we're planning to do another LA show. We're planning to bring back the Cali shows that we used to do a while ago. We're going to start doing them each year now. So it's a lot of different shows we're going to be hosting. And we're going to probably do an East Coast show somewhere. We haven't decided where yet. Some people want to show it inside Philadelphia because they know the nightlife in Philly is crazy. So we might maybe ponder that idea. I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff coming from us. We got a lot of stuff in works.
Just killing it out here, dude. Killing it. And I'm always supportive of people that are going to be doing shit the right way. So you already know any kind of event you guys are throwing, if I can get involved in promoting and coming out and covering the event, especially with the videos for the YouTube channel and stuff. And I love to do podcasts from events and talk some shit while the event's going on. And I've been looking into maybe some ringside commentary action also. So anytime I can get involved in that, you just let me know, bro. I'm ready. I'm down.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, the stuff you had, and when you initially told me about the idea of doing this, I told you whatever you need, and us bouncing ideas back and forth, it's going to grow to be the biggest, and it'll be a great thing all the way across. So that's always a plus, bro. You're doing a great thing for the community, and a lot of people are tuning in. A lot of people are educating it. They like it.
It's growing,
it's a good thing.
So fast, man.
A lot of people need to hear that. Some people hear it to either one side or another, or this favor or that favor. You're giving it to them straight up and down, whether it's the exotics, whether it's about other registries, whether it's about what we do right or what people do wrong. You're giving it to them, man. So that's a plus. Big ups.
I appreciate it, bro. It's like it's growing so fast. It's hard for me to keep up with the shit right now. Like, the Facebook page just hit 150 or 145,000 followers. The Instagram, we're looking at 20,000 people on Instagram. So it's like the YouTube's starting to jump off. I've got one video that already hit 100,000 views on YouTube. So it's like everything's taking off and everything's growing, and it's just something like it's something that I'm passionate about, just because like you and I mean like something like this, a podcast like this, you and I would just talk shit and chop it up anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not even a big deal for us to spend 2 hours on the phone chopping it up anyway. So that's no big deal. But like people that I would normally not reach out to or talk to or try to gain information from, this almost like forces me to do that sometimes. So it benefits me at the same time. So it's like I'm all about it. I'm all about I'm not. It's not going anywhere. The Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast will be around for a minute. We're creeping up on a year, like 44 episodes. We're I think 8 weeks away or 6 weeks, 8 weeks away from being a full year, full 12-month cycle of podcasts. So I want to do something special for that episode, but the way I look at it was the first year was just practice. We were just practicing the first year. You know what I mean?
Throwing the idea out there, just rolling it around right now.
Right. Like that was just practice the first year. So I appreciate everybody's support, but stay tuned because it's gonna do nothing but get better, and it's gonna do nothing but grow, and we're gonna hit as many of these big events as we can just to you know, team up and combine with whoever's throwing these big events and really get the name of the breed out there and show people the lifestyle that goes with this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's what they're really missing in the whole understanding. The reason why the whole bully world blew up and what they got into and what they looked at was because of the lifestyle.
Yeah, a lot of
doing it. The stars on it, the celebrities, like it was the whole lifestyle, the era. It was like a dog car show concert mixed all into one, and that's what it was about. And people are missing that side of it. People are getting too competition driven, where they forget about producing dogs, where they forget about doing this or doing that and everything else. Like they need to get involved with that stuff, you know?
Yeah, no doubt about it, bro. Anyway, I appreciate you being on the show always, every time. I think this is like, what is this, the third time?
I think so, yeah. It's like number 3 right here.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll chop it up more. I definitely want to pick your brain some more about the emceeing gig that I got coming up. That's not till September, so we'll talk more about it. But I appreciate you. I appreciate the support, bro. I appreciate everything. I appreciate you coming on and keeping it real with these fucking people, because like you're saying, they don't get enough quality information coming from real sources and experienced sources. So from everybody at the shop, I appreciate you.
All day, bro. All day. I appreciate it, man. I just try to keep it real, keep it dog friendly, and you know,
when I say
for the breed.
When I say everybody at the shop, I mean me, because it's just me.
I know that one. Yeah, you had to let them know. It could have made it seem like it was a big studio and everybody else there.
Nah, it's just me, folks. It's just me. But all right, homie. I'm gonna run a couple ads, and then I'll hit you up. I'm gonna run some advertisements, do a couple shout outs, and then I'm gonna get these people out of here.
All right, no doubt. I'll hit you up, man. Hit me up later.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Later.
Okay. Once again, some real information coming from a quality source. Some shit that you guys can use in your everyday world, your everyday thought process behind throwing events. And I feel like the Virginia event, even though I didn't attend, pretty much everything that Len was telling me is stuff I've already heard from other people that were there also. So, if you want to know how to step your events up, take some fucking notes. Episode 44, Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast. As always, the Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast is brought to you by Bull-NA-ChinaShop.com. If you want to listen to older episodes, any and all episodes of the Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast, all you have to do is hit Bull-NA-ChinaShop.com Go to the blog page. The newest episode will be at the top. Oldest episode is all the way at the bottom. All you have to do is scroll down. If you want to see some video footage, stay right on the home page. All the videos from the Bull-NA-ChinaShop TV YouTube channel are right there on the home page. Some things that we are adding to the website: a photo gallery, approved kennels page, events page. That's all in the works as we speak. I've been saying that for a couple months. It takes a while to find someone that you want to work with that's does quality work, and it takes a while to get things exactly how you want it. But that shit is in the works. For anything and everything Bull Breeds, or anything and everything Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast, the first, the only podcast dedicated to the bull breeds and the American bully lifestyle, check out Bull-NA-ChinaShop.com. We're also brought to you by the Bully Embassy. The Bully Embassy is an elite group of breeders, handlers, owners, and judges from around the world. We are dedicated to bull breeds and the preservation and growth of those breeds. We are one of the most sought after groups in the bull breed community. You can find us at your next event. Just look for the Bully Embassy tent. You can also find us on Facebook at the Bully Embassy, or go to thebullyembassy.com. Okay. So like I said, for all you show hosts out there, for everybody thinking about throwing a show, hosting a show, just pay attention, man. I have people on the show all the time that are trying to help, that are trying to lend their advice to you for you to make your events better. You want to have better numbers at your events? Make it something worthwhile. Make it something worth people driving across the country to go to, or flying across the country to go to. Build a reputation of worthwhile events. People will show up, I promise you. For everybody that was in Canada, in Quebec, at Grenville, at the show, first ever ABKC event in Canada, I love your faces. Thank you for the support. Thank you for showing up and showing out. Congrats to all the winners. Also, thanks to Matthew and Martine for the hospitality, the well-organized event. Congratulations. What a successful weekend. As always, I love your fucking faces. You beautiful motherfuckers. I'll see you next week. Episode 44 in the books.